was that? Hey fam, Tasha, MAMABEAR prepping. Hey, so I just wanted to kind of bring a lighter mood, you know, and not everything is gloom and doom, and not everything is, you know, we gotta prep, save the world, you know. It's not that all the time. And there's things that, at least I'm prepping, that aren't always about beans and fucking rice, right? It's not all about how much beans and rice can you put up and water and, you know, canning, and it's not always about that, right? Some of it is about your mental health and prepping the things that make you feel good now, and making sure that you're able to continue to do some of those things in the future. So when I talk about this topic, I call it vices, okay? Now, some of this stuff is not vices. So it's vices. It's the things that you can't live without in life. It's the little things that make you feel good. Some of them are guilty pleasures. Some of them are not healthy for us. But they're the things that, like, we can't really give up, okay? Because we enjoy them, okay? And this stuff is super important, you guys, because a lot of people are not going to make it just because up here, right? Because their mental game is not strong, right? They're not self-reliant. They don't have that natural grit, you know. They're just mentally, whether they're way gone, right? They're real deep in mental illness, or if you're just your everyday person, I would think is like me, okay? I struggle with depression at times and anxiety. I've had huge chronic anxiety moments in life, right? And I think that what makes us stronger is when you can identify that about yourself and then know what you need to do that helps you get through that, okay? And some of this stuff doesn't really align health-wise with mental health, but these are things that make us feel good, okay, and better. And some of them are not healthy, right? And it's our guilty pleasures. So what I would do is I would challenge you to think about, I'm just going to give you a few ideas, and then think about kind of what they are for your family, because these apply to adults, but they also apply to kids, pets, like the things that make your family unique and make you guys happy, okay? And then you're going to think about those things, and then you're going to make sure that you prep for them, okay? Some of this stuff too, you're going to see when I talk about it, is bartering type items, okay? So right off the bat, vices, liquor, okay, wine, things like that can be bartered, and are those feel good guilty pleasures, right? Are they needed? Are they necessary for you to function and to live? No, not necessarily. Maybe for some, but no, not necessarily, right? But there's the little things that you want to prep that, you know, maybe you want to be able to have a glass of wine on a special occasion, okay? So you're going to prep for that stuff, okay? Wine and liquors have other things that they can be used for as well, okay? So some of this stuff is guilty pleasure, can also be used for bartering, and then also has other uses, okay? Another one, coffee. So a ton of people drink coffee. A lot of people don't even make their own coffee. They run to whatever local coffee place, right? And they grab their coffee every single day. Some of them do it multiple times a day. You should stop that, just because that's a lot of money you're spending, but I'm getting off track, okay? But what I would tell you to do is prep for that, okay? You should be figuring out now how to make your coffee if you don't normally do. Maybe you have a coffee pot that plugs in, or a coffee pot that takes the little K-cups, and you should be figuring out, hey, if I just had a fire, how can I make coffee? That's making sure you have the right coffee pot, you have coffee, you have any kind of creamer. Now, you know, creamer doesn't keep, so how do you have creamer? Okay, you guys, if you didn't know, they have powdered creamer, okay? They don't have all the bougie flavors, but let me tell you, I don't drink mine black. I drink it with creamer, and if all I had was that powdered creamer, you bet your ass I'm going to be having it, okay? And I do prep it, all right? But prep the extra things that go along with your coffee experience and the things that you like, okay? Whatever is the extra flavorings you like, if it's a special type of coffee, whatever the case may be. Now, coffee won't last forever. You can store it where it will last a very long time, but instant coffee will last forever. Okay, so make sure if you're a coffee drinker that you're prepping long term also with your instant coffees as well. Again, bartering item. Another one is chocolate and candy, right? Like that makes you feel good, all right? There's just times in our lives when, man, a piece of chocolate is just, will make your day, which is totally bring up your mood, okay? So I prep candy, I prep chocolate, okay? Making sure you have that stuff, that little guilty pleasure, and that you've prepped for that stuff and you have it to the side is good, okay? Again, bartering, all this stuff is good bartering stuff. Here's a weird one. Let's say, you know, vices don't always have to be like, you know, the liquor and the coffee and the chocolate. Like it could be, say you're a mama bear and your thing is being able to bake and bake your kids their birthday cakes. That's like your shit. That's what you get off on. You absolutely love that. That feeds you. When you're down and out, your thing is to bake a chocolate cake, okay? You should be prepping for that. Like if that's the thing that makes you feel good, like you're in a down and out mood and you know that you can go in the kitchen and just start baking a cake, like that's the stuff that you should be prepping to make sure that you have plenty of that, so that when you have that moment where you're having a moment and you need to get through it, and you know that if you bake a cake, that is going to do it for you, then you should be prepping that, okay? Some other stuff, again, not so healthy, so I'm not advocating, but people who smoke, okay, cigarettes and having tobacco and having the paper to roll and having the machine to help you roll, and you know, cigars. If you're a cigar smoker, maybe you're not a cigar smoker all the time, but once a year, twice a year, special occasion, you like to have your cigar. Maybe you just like a cigar on New Year's Eve, right? Something like that. Those are the type of things you want to make sure that you prep and that you keep. If you're a vapor, you know, having your extra vape juice or whatever, okay? Having those guilty pleasures prepped could mean the difference, okay? I know when we went to war back in the day, wasn't a smoker. I'm not a smoker at all. And when we were in Iraq, okay, we were boots on ground. It was super, super scary. And I remember I took to smoking Black and Milds, like out of nowhere was smoking Black and Milds. And that period of time didn't last that long, but that was like a coping. Somebody handed me one. I took it. We were coping. We were getting in and out of mop gear. It was super scary, okay? And I used that, you know, as a coping mechanism. I would have never thought in a million years I did that. I've never done it since, but that happened. It was a coping mechanism, okay? So there's some stuff on this list that is gonna be coping mechanisms for people. Okay, so same thing with coffee, your teas, having your teas, prepping the honey for the tea, you know, things like that. Kids, maybe in our household, hot chocolate is a big deal sometimes, okay? Not all the time, but once in a while, especially during the holidays, having some hot chocolate. So prepping the hot chocolate. You can even prep marshmallows. You can take the marshmallows and dehydrate them and then keep them vacuum sealed in a dehydrated form, or keep them in the jars, right? Vacuum sealed. And boom, you have marshmallows that you could add to some hot chocolate at any point, or a coffee or whatever, okay? So think about the guilty pleasures, okay? And it has to do with adult stuff, with kid stuff, with pets, okay? If there's a special dog treat, or there's something that, you know, your pets just puts them over the moon and it's for a special occasion or something, like get that, okay? Here's one today. Today I went to the nail place and I got my toes done for the first time in over a year. And it was no big deal. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna go get my toes done. You know, I could do without that, the nails, all that. I can do it. I can rough it, right? But I finally was like, man, my toes are rough looking. I'm gonna go get my toes done. You would have thought I was cheating on my man. That shit felt so good, okay? It was like heaven. Like instantly, I got a rush of just feel good. Like you can't tell me nothing. It was amazing. And I instantly remembered like what it feels like when you get to do that on a regular basis, even though I was doing without it and was perfectly fine, okay? So something as simple as that, your toes, your nails, ladies, if that's something that brings you pleasure and you have something that you're used to doing like that, you prep for it. So make sure that you have a little foot bath, okay? Make sure you have, you know, 10 colors of nail polish, even though right now somebody else is doing them, but get you your little 10 colors of nail polish, put it away. You know, get you some nice scrubs, get you some Epsom salt. Epsom salt has a ton of ways to use it and medicinal uses for it. So that's a great prep by itself, period, okay? But get those things that make you feel good, okay? And then prep for them and make sure that you have them, because our mental game, and there's going to be tough days to get through, and maybe having the things prepped and with you that you know can turn you around and make you feel good. And there's going to be some sad days. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be some sad days, right? People start dying. That's fucking sad, right? I'm probably going to want to have a drink, okay? Like those are moments. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's going to be emotional. And this is just another way that you can prepare for that. That's all we're doing, people, is preparing every single day, whatever it is we're doing, whatever it is we're thinking about or figuring out we need to get a hold on. It has to do with prepping and preparing and getting ready. So that's what I'm doing. These are some of my preps, okay? I know some of these are not that healthy, so I'm not advocating for you to do any of these things. I'm just merely telling you to think outside the box, and it's not always about rice and beans. It has a lot to do with your mental game. Is going to have a lot to do with everything, okay? So I wish you all the best. Let me know in the comments if there's a vice or a guilty pleasure or something I didn't mention that for you is like your guys' go-to thing that you know you prepare to make sure that you have plenty of that said thing. Let me know in the comments below. You guys know we share all our information with everybody because we want to make sure that, you know, we're helping each other out. So I'll see you guys next time, and have a good night. Bye.